let's bring you up to speed with those stories that have been making headlines. And we start off with that particular matter that has tongues wagging. And we are talking about the Deputy President's impeachment, where the Chief Justice Martha Koome has appointed a 3-judge bench to hear and determine all petitions filed across the country by Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua against his impeachment debate at the Senate. The decision comes as Rigathi on Monday filed another application under certificate of urgency at the High Court to stop the Senate plenary from debating his impeachment today. And actually, that's tomorrow and Thursday this week. Now, as Ruth Wamboi reports, Gachagua has cited 10 grounds on which he termed his impeachment as shambolic, unfair, and a vicarious assault on him.
As embattled Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua strengthened legal battle against his impeachment, Supreme Court President Martha Koome has appointed a 3-judge bench as requested by his counsels last Friday. They had argued that the matter was too weighty to be handled by a single judge.
Pursuant to the court's direction that were issued on the 11th of October, we served all the parties with the pleadings and the order that was issued by the court on the 11th of October 2024.
The three, led by Judge Eric Ogola, Anthony Murima, and Frida Mugambi, have been tasked to hear out the petition filed by the Deputy President. Koome's move came even as High Court Judge Justice Chacha Mwita set Tuesday afternoon for ruling on Gachagua's applications to hold impeachment process at the Senate.
The remedy, if any, my lord, is to stay the first petition, my lord, in view of the fresh petition that raises fresh issues that could not have been covered with that first petition and given the constraints of time.
Gachagua's counsels, led by Paul Muite, argued that the impeachment risks barring him permanently from holding public office if the conservatory orders are not issued.
75% of the Kenyan people, 24,122, said the president and his deputy should be impeached together. So the overwhelming majority in this limited public participation voted in favor of both being impeached, but 93% were against the impeachment of the Deputy President.
They also termed the impeachment process a gross violation of the Constitution, marred with irregularities and illegalities.
We plead that you grant us a stay of that resolution, a stay of the impeachment in the Senate.
However, as lawyers Paul Nyamodi and Peter Wanyama, representing the National Assembly, Senate and the Speaker, argue that the reliefs Gachagua was seeking in court will still be accessible to him if he is impeached.
But the public have no compulsion to participate. There is no corresponding duty in the Constitution that when public participation takes place, then all citizens or a certain category of citizens of Kenyans must participate.
They can question the adequacy of that public participation, but my lord, public participation has been conducted to a sufficient degree of acceptability. My lord, that is why in the response, my lord, you can see numbers being quoted by the petitioner.
The court was further informed by the respondent that at this juncture, Gachagua's predicament is same as Governor Kawira Mwangaza's fate, and that he could wait for the legislative process to go on before coming to court. As the Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua put another stab on to stop his impeachment. The respondents have accused him for forum shopping behavior, citing that he cannot approbate and reprobate the suit. Ruth Wamboi reporting from Milimani's High Court.
In the same breath, the National Cohesion and Integration Commission has asked the Senate to be fair and balanced and avoid political bias in the impeachment trial of Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua. NCAC Chairman Samuel Kobia, in a meeting with editors, warned that Gachagua's impeachment could divide the country if justice will not be seen to be done.
Asante, Bwana Speaker.
As the country awaits to know the fate of Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua, on Thursday this week, the National Cohesion and Integration Commission (NCIC) urged the Senate to steer clear of political bias and carry out the impeachment process by the law.
The country is going through an unprecedented moment, leading to a possible impeachment of the Deputy President. We feel that the Senate, in handling this matter, should do it in a way that all Kenyans will feel that it has been fair.
NCAC Chairman Samuel Kobia, who spoke during a meeting with editors, intimated a possibility of ethnic tensions and polarization among communities if justice will not be served.
Because as NCAC, our major concern is that the way this process is shaping up, it could easily lead to conflicts between the people of the Mount Kenya area and the people from other parts of the country.
While calling on the media to provide a platform for conversations, the Integration Commission said it's crucial to ensure that voices from every generation are heard to avert the recurrence of Gen Z protests in the future.
We want to ensure that every voice is part of this narrative. Media has the power to bring people together, to inspire action, and to ignite change. By working closely with our media partners, we are creating platforms for these conversations to happen on a broader scale.
While our outreach to the communities involves reaching out to them and taking the media to them to enable them to understand how media operates, but also to allow them, in the spirit of inclusivity, to contribute to the editorial agenda.
The 16th and the 17th, that is 16th and 17th of October, the Deputy President has a date with the Senate, and KBC Channel 1 is going to be broadcasting that live. Now to matters health, the Ministry of Health has received a donation of Mpox kits and drugs from the World Health Organization through USAID for management of the neglected tropical diseases. This handover ceremony, presided over by the Health Cabinet Secretary, Dr. Deborah Baraza, at Avia House, comes at a time when the country is trying to contain the Mpox outbreak that has so far seen 13 cases confirmed across 10 counties in the country.
During the handover ceremony of the Mpox kits and drugs at Afia House in Nairobi, Health Cabinet Secretary Dr. Deborah Baraza noted the Mpox kits will significantly strengthen the capacity to detect and respond to Mpox cases swiftly.
This is indeed timely because it comes as our nation is grappling with an ongoing Mpox outbreak. And the introduction of these testing kits will enhance our capacity to detect and respond to Mpox cases more swiftly and effectively.
Dr. Baraza noted that the ministry has made significant progress towards neglected tropical diseases such as lymphatic filariasis, soil-transmitted helminths, and schistosomiasis through the implementation of impactful interventions, including the use of preventive chemotherapy.
We have remarkable strides made against neglected tropical diseases, and the mass drug administration campaign play a pivotal role in our fight by targeting at-risk communities and interrupting the cycle of disease transmission.
World Health Organization country representative Dr. Abdurrahman Diallo noted that neglected tropical diseases affects over 1 billion people globally.
NTDs hit predominantly vulnerable populations, people who live in areas where water, sanitation, hygiene constitute a challenge and are where unfortunately access to healthcare services is also limited.
Diallo assured that World Health Organization remains committed to supporting Kenya's efforts in ensuring that emerging infectious diseases like Mpox are effectively managed.
WHO has also supported the training of 137 health workers, 555 airport staff, while providing technical support for screening travelers at 26 points of entry. WHO continues to coordinate with health partners to ensure effective communication and community engagement to raise awareness and reduce transmission risk.
Now, we cross over to the counties where KBC County government has taken an initiative to demystify public participation among residents by involving local community-based organizations. This comes as a cross-section of residents failed to turn up at the sessions to give views on projects planned for implementation by the two levels of government. Details of this and our stories in our county's news roundup.
Speaking at a forum in Nubia, KBC County, officials of Armed Shield International Peace Champions, a local community organization, reminded the residents that the public participation requirement was constitutional.
Leo tumekuwa na washikadau ambao wanafanya kazi kwa community, ambao karibu na community, specifically hapa Nubia, sababu kuna project ambao tunaifanya. So tumehimiza watu wawe wakiattend public participation forums ama wawe wakiattend mikutano yetu ya budget tracking, so that vitu zitateka kwa community, then baadaye waanze kuulizia mbona ilifanyika na hatukuuzishwa ama hatukuambiwa.
Meanwhile, the Association of Teachers in Central Region is calling for the postponement of the rite of passage for boys this year, arguing that boys in grade 8 having undergone the act of circumcision could cause conflict, curiosity, and indiscipline amongst classmates.
And being a rite of passage, you are supposed to move from this level to the other level. If the young boys are going to be circumcised at grade 8, and then in January 2025, they are back to primary schools, that is where we are going to have a lot of indiscipline.
Security has been beefed in Likia area at the border of Nakuru and Narok counties following days of conflicts between two warring communities. Narok County Commissioner Kipkech Lutiatia has urged residents to keep off Likia Forest, where criminals are suspected to be hiding, and report any suspicious activity.
Kuwasi kwamba kabisa tunataka tukae na amani na majirani wetu ambao wako hii jimbo ya jirani ya Nakuru. Mambo kidogo madogo ambayo inaleta mambo ya ugomvi tusuluhishe na viongozi ambao wako mashinani.
Elsewhere, the incoming Teachers Service Commission Director Ivan Sesese has urged teachers to refrain from the tendency to acquire loans they cannot service. This is after a female teacher in Bungoma took loans from two different banks, totaling 3 million shillings, and then fled, leaving her guarantors in problems. And Northeastern leaders have decried decades of marginalization and poor education standards and are demanding affirmative programs for the region, touching on crucial sectors like education, health, water, security, and roads.
Sisi tunavyoomba kwa kila upande na kwa kila maendeleo, sehemu ya maendeleo, kama ni mambo ya masomo, kama ni kawi, kama ni barabara, yote tuyapate vile ndugu zetu wa Kenya wengine walikuwa wanapata miaka 60 na kitu. 60 na ngapi leo? 61 tangu tupate uhuru.
Finally, Pwani FM presenters celebrated the 89th birthday of Mzee Joseph Ngala, a renowned Kenyan bango musician, in style at Golden Gate Joint in Mtwapa, Mombasa County.
Ikiwa Mungu ameniajalia kufikisha mpaka siku ya leo, basi kwangu mimi ni furaha kubwa sana, manake miaka 89 sio mchezo. Wewe ukiishi dunia hii mpaka ufikishe miaka hiyo, basi ukifikisha hapo roho yako lazima ufurahi. Vijana, labda kwa ufupi ningewaambia tu jitunzeni.
Congratulations to turning 89 there, Mzee Ngala. Now, off to some Business news now. As of midnight yesterday, fuel prices dropped after the Energy and Petroleum Regulatory Authority (EPRA) announced reduced pump prices. The price of super petrol will decrease, or rather has decreased, by 8 shillings and 18 cents per litre, while diesel has decreased by 3 shillings and 54 cents. Kerosene down by 6 shillings and 93 cents. So in Nairobi, when you're fueling today, a litre of super petrol will now retail at 180 shillings and 66 cents, while diesel will retail at 168 shillings and 6 cents. Kerosene in Nairobi will fetch 151 shillings and 39 cents. I hope that the fueling stations have already adjusted to these new rates, but on a spot check, a majority of them on Thika Road still have the yesterday's prices, that is 180 shillings and 98 cents that had been in place for the last 30 days before that directive by EPRA at exactly 12 midnight. But then let's cross over to other stories that are making headlines. Is that there's an urgent need for Kenya to embrace the Kenya Bureau of Standards to shift the narrative from one of inefficiency and corruption to reputation built on reliability and integrity. The head of public service, Felix Koskaya, says adhering to quality standards is key for Kenya to realize full gains from new trade agreements that the government has secured. Trevor Ngendo has the details. Now you can visit our website, that is www.kbc.co.ke, for further details in regard to that. Now we cross over all the way to Dubai, where imagine a scenario where you are in your car heading to work and is stuck in traffic, and then decide, you know what, why not fly? Then proceed to fly in your car to work. Well, flying cars are no longer just a dream but a reality in some parts of the world. Automaker Xingpeng is set to roll out flying cars in just 2 years. Betty Kiptum got to have a peek at the experience of a flying car in the tech exhibition Giltex Global, currently underway in Dubai, and brings us the following report.
At first glance, you would be confused as to whether you are looking at a plane or a car. It just happens to be both. This is the Xpeng X2, a futuristic two-seater flying vehicle that is combining the concept of flying cars with environmental responsibility. The car is fully electric and can be used on both roads and in the air. When on the road, the propeller is tucked in and remains invisible. And when it is time to take to the air, it emerges ready for flight. The designers say the vehicle has autonomous capabilities where the driver sets the location and the machine does all the rest.
It have autonomous drive system. You can just from where is the definition, you just from A to B, it can fly itself. You can just stay in the cockpit and see the gorgeous place, the views itself. It can fly itself.
By 2026, buyers will be able to own the modular flying car, another product of Xpeng. This car releases the small helicopter known as eVTOL for flying. It has an electric drive system that provides continuous charging for the air module. One moment you are in the car, the next you are airborne on the same seat. It targets people who are driving to remote areas with underdeveloped transport infrastructure or areas which are difficult to reach by car.
A very gorgeous place, you just park the car, release the eVTOL, and you can fly it. And this year, by the end of this year, we got to start our pre-order. And next year, I want to fly in Dubai.
The innovations in the mobility industry are being showcased at Global Tech Exhibition Gitex, which is currently underway in Dubai.
With population increase, urban areas are facing a number of challenges. There are many cars on the roads, and the world is trying to move away from fossil fuels. This car has been built to ride on the road and fly at the same time. It is also fully electric. Could this be the answer to those transportation challenges in urban areas? Reporting from Gitex Global in Dubai, my name is Betty Kiptum.
Now back home, farmers at Moya Irrigation Scheme are calling on the government to urgently address the escalating crisis of snail infestation, which is threatening production. Our reporter Frederick Moki was at the Moya Irrigation Scheme to assess the impact and files the following report.
Moya is known as the rice bowl of Kenya, accounting for about 80% of rice produced in the country. Despite these, local farmers face a new challenge of snails that threaten their ability to meet the rising demand for rice in Kenya, projected at 1 million metric tons annually.
Chenye tumebadilika sana ni snail. Na hakuna ndawa ya snail. Ukipanda mchele ukiwa mchanga inakatakata. Sana. Mtu anashinda huko kupanda unarudia tena kupanda mpaka iwe strong. So naomba serikali itutafutie ndawa ya snail.
Farmers say that the snails which thrive in the damp conditions created by irrigation have multiplied rapidly, posing a severe threat to rice harvest.
Mbegu nimeweka kwa nasari, nikiweka maji kwa nasari, hii ndio itavuna ule mchele ukiwa mdogo. Inakatakata kabisa.
Farmers here are keen on increasing the acreage and the rice to meet the growing demand in Kenya, which they say could be enabled by constructing more dams or expanding the capacity of existing dams.
Mchele sio maji. Ikipata tu maji inaweza enda wiki 3 na hiyo mchele itakuwa sawa sawa. So naimiza serikali wajenge damu mingi Kenya mzima, na sisi kama wakulima tuko tayari kurudi kwa shamba.
Katika ukulima wa mchele yenye twaweza omba, ndio maana tupate kitu ama tufike mahali hizo enzi za usoni, tunaomba serikali tu tuongezee bei, maana tunalima tena tunateseka kwa bei.
As climate change alters ecosystems, pests like snails may continue to thrive. However, industry players in the agricultural sector have vowed to continue forging more collaborative efforts with policymakers to help counter such challenges, even as Kenya anticipates an increase in production of rice in the next coming years. Reporting from Moya Irrigation Scheme in Kirinyaga County, my name is Frederick Mwoki.
From business now, let's delve into sports, where to remind is that the Football Kenya Federation presidential aspirants and their running mates presented their nomination papers to the FKF Electoral Board ahead of the Football Kenya Federation General elections set for the 7th of December this year. Among them is former FKF chair, that is, Nyamwea there. We're going to be keeping tabs on this particular development at a time when Kenya finds itself continuing to ensure that it becomes a hub for sports, and we are streamlining in terms of policies around the sporting arena. Now, former Kenyan boxer Evans Ashira arrived in Mombasa today, where he's expected to attend a local boxing tournament on Thursday at KPA Hall, Makande. Now, Oure remains to be one of the best professional boxers to come out of Kenya and one of the most accomplished professional boxers in his adopted home country, Denmark. The boxer said young upcoming boxing talents must work hard so that they can reclaim Kenya's lost glory. Oure is accompanied by his Danish-based friends, and his son also happens to follow in his footsteps in the ring.
We're trying to pick up some of the talents from Mombasa. So they'll come there and we have 5-6 fights on that evening, and they will sit down, have a drink, celebrate a little bit, and enjoy the fight. We're trying to do all the stars, the young people, the one who have a talent, you can look at it and think like, wow, this is something. So we're only picking the best and make them do a small boxing event, which will be attended by many people from Mombasa.
It's good to see you guys still here for